a big part of what we do and what everyone should be looking at is detoxification, and that's cleansing of the biological terrain, the inner milieu. And a big part of that also is pH, right? The pH balance in the body, which is usually out of whack, a lot of times very acidic with a lot, and that invites pathogens. So how does infrared affect the pH levels in the body?
Great question. Again, wow, you're really knocking the leather off. All right, so many of the toxins that our body holds are actually acidic in nature. Mm-hmm. So when earlier I just mentioned that the vibration actually breaks apart the bond between the toxin and where the body is stored it, how it's stored. So now when you break that toxin out, that is actually moving your blood from being alkaline or neutral, like let's say 7.0 or a little bit higher than 7.0 pH, the toxin will move it more towards being acidic, like you mentioned, which, as you also mentioned, is the prime environment that fosters pathogens and all kinds of systemic diseases. So alkaline water or anything you can do to actually shift your blood pH towards being more alkaline is a great long-term plan for health and wellness. And so how we approach is through the detox process and getting rid of the toxins, we're actually getting rid of the acidic part of that covalent bond, which actually inherently will drive your bloodstream to be more alkaline. We also support that by offering different kinds of healthy stacks or hacks and one would be drinking alkaline water. I've had the benefit of actually having a private audience with Dr. Jerry Pollack, who wrote The Fourth Phase of Water, who found that, discovered that water has 4 phases, or actually we know it as 3 phases, which would be gas, liquid, or solid. What he discovered was the water inside our body actually acts differently. That's the 4th phase of water. And it's influenced, the way that phase of water in the body is influenced to create that evacuation zone, he calls it, is basically by using infrared frequencies. That's where the hinge was. And so meeting Dr. Pollack inspired Therasage and myself to develop a water filtration system that actually pulls out particulates and fluorides and chemicals and chlorines and all that, but it puts in energy structure, which is what light frequencies do. And structured water is basically the ticket to good cell health.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's the one thing I've always said, it's not enough to filter water. And we're we are 70% water. The earth is so much water. It's about structured water that is then somewhat bioavailable, is useful to the body, because water is just otherwise, it's just wet water and kind of comes in and out and doesn't do what it needs to do in the body. And people need to get that. So I'm really happy you brought that up with the structuring of water in that solution. And another solution go ahead.
No, it takes the infrared frequencies actually to structure the water. So we were already there. I just didn't understand until I actually sat with Dr. Pollack and read his book, how impactful. I'm always searching for the micro reasons why our technology works. Clinically, I know hands down all the ways that our sauna and infrared full spectrum can work. But what are the mechanisms? And one of the big discoveries was just the restructuring that the frequencies will do, and full spectrum does with our sauna.